Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a show that's going to surprise a lot of you. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, as you guys know, it's official. Skip Bayless is no longer at FS1. And now we are waiting to see, number one, who's going to be his replacement on the show. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the show is going to be off air for the remainder of this week. And I think they're going to come back next week. So that's the first thing. So we're waiting to see who they're going to replace him with. And also some people may be interested to see where Skip lands at the end of all of this. But in the midst of the news of him leaving or being fired from FS1, a lot of people in sports media have been weighing in. Stephen A. Smith, Marcellus Wiley, Jason Whitlock, Steve King, Dan Lebitard, people in the independent space, a plethora. Chris Carter just recently yesterday, he weighed in on it. He weighed in on it as well. Weighed in on Skip Bayless as well. But one person shocked me and a lot of his viewers by deciding to come to the defense of Skip Bayless. And who's this person? This person is one Nick Wright. Yes, you heard me. Nick Wright. Yesterday, Nick Wright published a show on his channel that was centered on Skip Bayless leaving FS1. So I was like, okay, let me hear what Nick Wright has to say about this. So I click on the show. And as I click on the video, Nick Wright starts off the show talking about, I've been getting a lot of flack from my audience members who are LeBron fans who are upset with me for coming to the defense of Skip Bayless. And I was like, wait. Nick Wright, who's like a LeBron James fanatic, is out here defending Skip Bayless, who was the biggest LeBron James troll for the past 20 years, quite literally, to the point where his own viewers and supporters are upset with him for coming to the defense of Skip Bayless. And I was like, man, this is absolutely classic material. So what we would like to do now, we would like to play exactly what Nick Wright had to say in defense of Skip Bayless, and at the same time calling out some of his LeBron supporters for their aggressive comments or attacks towards Skip Bayless. So we're going to play that for you now, and then we're going to come back and react to what Nick Wright had to say. Take a listen to that there.
First, I want to talk about Skip, because I sent out this tweet right after Skip announced that it was his final show. And I wrote a truly legendary run. Very few people in any industry can say they helped create and define an entire genre. Skip did that. Salute and good luck in whatever he does moving forward. And this was met, not surprisingly, with a lot of, anger or angst from a lot of folks, mostly LeBron James fans or supporters, saying, how can you say this? How can you feel this way? And so I want to explain that, and then I want to talk about Skip. So the reason I say that and feel that way is because I don't actually care that I think Skip was dead wrong for a decade about LeBron. I don't. That's not like, people are entitled to their own sports opinions. I don't think his was phony. I don't think he was pretending. I think, and I've said this before, and I think people wondered if I was only saying it because we were colleagues, but we're not colleagues anymore. And Serbia wins and Serbia advances, by the way. That I think Skip could pass a lie detector test on those takes. I think he truly believed it. I think they were bad takes. I think he was wrong about it. But as on the things that actually mattered, in my opinion, when race and sports crossed over and there were real discussions about real things, I felt Skip was consistently on the right side of things. Now, I understand he and Shannon got sideways at the end, and there was, famous blow-ups, and there were moments that really, really rubbed people the wrong way about how their interactions went. And I know some people ascribed some of that to malice or to there being a real racial component there. And I'm here to tell you that for whatever flaws you felt or things you liked or disliked about Skip Bayless on TV, that on the actual human personal things, I think he consistently was on the right side, not on the wrong side. If he was out there doing what I think is trolling on real non-sports important issues for clicks and likes and views, the way we have seen a lot of people, many, some of which used to prominently be in sports and now crossed over to carnival barker political stuff, I wouldn't respect him. But that's not how I ever felt. And so that's why, even though I disagreed with basically everything he ever said about my favorite athlete of all time, LeBron James, I could feel comfortable saying those things. And here's the other thing I want to say about Skip. Because nothing made me madder than when folks would say, oh, anyone could do what he did. If anyone could, more would have. Oh, it's easy. I'm telling you right now, that man was on television every day for the better part of 20 years, one of the absolute most important or noteworthy voices in sports, was paid accordingly. And I'm here to tell you, if that were easy, everyone would do it. And this dismissal of what he did over a career because folks didn't like the way he did it or the opinions he had, I think is ludicrous. There are so many folks who would saw off their left arm for that platform. And if it was as simple as, oh, I'm just going to say this guy who's awesome stinks and that guy who stinks is awesome, and that's the path to riches and success and fame, then a lot of people would do it. Okay? And so it is not the style that I try to emulate. It is not what I think I do best. And I'm not even here to say, make a moral judgment on whether it's good or bad or indifferent. What I do know is it is something that for the better part of 20 years, the audience responded to, felt passionate about, and he was at near the top of the sports fan conversation until basically the last year. And that's also why, on a personal level, I'm bummed that he didn't do a victory lap.
So you heard what Nick Wright had to say. What are my thoughts? First of all, I got to say I'm very, very surprised to hear Nick say that. I'm very, very surprised because Nick Wright is a LeBron James supporter, a big LeBron James supporter. And one would think that a person like Nick Wright wouldn't like the sort of things that Skip Bayless did on a daily basis. One would think so. I know certainly LeBron fans are not a fan of Skip Bayless. As a matter of fact, they trying to call me the black Skip Bayless for some of the stuff that they describe as hate towards LeBron James that we say on this channel here. So for Nick Wright to do that, I was surprised by that. That was the last person I would have thought that would have came to the defense of Skip. But look, Nick brought up some valid points. Whether you like Skip Bayless or hate him, he had an impact in sports media. He just did. And he had an impact for the last 20 years. And he's been a part of some of the biggest shows in sports media. First Take is the number one show, especially in that time slot. And First Take grew into something that turned into like a cultural phenomenon. It went from being a sports show where folks would come on there and debate sports on a daily basis to being kind of like an intersecting point, an intersection between sports, and culture. Like, you would have musicians come on there, you would have comedians come on there. I remember having people like Nelly, Kevin Hart, former athletes, movie stars, and the list goes on and on and on of people coming on ESPN First Take to debate Skip Bayless and talk sports. I mean, it was an impactful show, period. And Skip played a role in that. They experienced that success during the period of Skip. Now, whether or not people came on there to argue against Skip and say, hey, man, why are you such a LeBron hater and all of those different things is another thing. But that show has also had some memorable moments in sports. You remember the Richard Sherman thing that they had on there and so many other moments that I'm sure many of you guys remember to this day. So Skip played a role. But I think that the negative impact Skip has had, and listening to some of his contemporaries talk about him, is they feel like he destroys sports media. If you listen to people like Dan Le Batard, that's what he told Stephen A. Smith. He said he believes like people like him and Skip Bayless destroy sports media because now they turn sports media into just one big shouting match where if you guys are not hollering and screaming at each other, we're not talking sports. If you people are not saying things that are crossing the line, we're not talking sports. And some people don't like that. Some people don't like that. Some people also don't like the fact that they feel like Skip exploited LeBron for his career. I mean, throughout his entire career by basically making him his punching bag on a daily basis for 20 years. There are a contingency of people out there that feel this way. And to a certain extent, I can understand them. I can absolutely understand them. There are people out there that also feel, and people like Stephen A. Smith have pushed back on this notion, but there are people out there that also feel that Skip didn't believe 100% of the things that he said when it came to Tim Tebow or him being so critical of LeBron James. Personally, I think he believed it. I do think he believed it. Now, do I think there were moments in time where Skip saw an opportunity to just poke fun and kind of act like as if it's a big deal? Sure, like when LeBron came out and was drinking wine on the sideline, or when him and Russell Westbrook on opposite ends are like, these are frivolous conversations to have. What is LeBron trying to say there? What is like, these are just frivolous conversations, right? But by and large, I think he meant I think he meant a lot of the stuff that he said, right? But to me, it seems like Skip ended up being this kind of polarizing figure in sports media, and that's crazy. For that to kind of be his legacy and to have people like Nick Wright, who are LeBron guys, to come out here and defend him is quite surprising. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about Nick Wright coming to the defense of Skip Bayless? And number two, ultimately, what do you think Skip Bayless's legacy will be in sports media when it's all said and done? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comments and we catch you on the next show. Peace.